Thanks so much for downloading our latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, Paula and I are talking about celebs from the royals to Leo to the goopster. Plus, I get what I deserve. My boots from China have arrived. We talk about it. Also, our ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much. ShopLipandClip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
Would it have killed you to get a wax before the show? Honestly.
Paula.
Hi, would you like to buy some cookies?
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 430. I was going to go, Paula.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. Ugh. What is wrong with me?
I don't know. Are you drunk?
No. Well, I'm tired, of course. Daryl got home late last night. He was in Memphis for 3-4 days.
Memphis?
Yes.
You mean Nashville?
Yes.
Okay.
Memphis, Tennessee, right? Oh, Nashville, yes.
Yeah,
Nashville,
I was going to
Tennessee.
say Memphis is a shithole. What would he be doing there?
Well, I mean, normally I would have producer Deb come on and explain the story, but I'll give you the brief. Now, our mom used to go to Nashville all the time for her job when she was working before she retired, and she went to Nashville quite a bit, and I said, yeah, Daryl wants me to go with him to Nashville and we can go see the sights or whatever, and I want to go see the Bluebird Cafe. I want to see Grand Ole Opry. I think that'd be really cool. And she said, don't go by yourself. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, don't go anywhere unaccompanied. It's very dangerous. And I said, okay, but you said that about New Orleans too. She goes, well, you can stay in the French Quarter, but if you journey out of the French Quarter, don't go by yourself.
I wouldn't be going anywhere. You know what? I have no desire to go to New Orleans, so.
I don't either. You know, we talked about it.
I thought you guys went there.
No, Daryl's been a couple of times for work and stuff. And he's like, oh, you would love it. It's great. I'm like, you know, I don't like Vegas. I don't think I would like the French Quarter.
Oh, I think it's completely different from Vegas. Vegas is modern. Louisiana is just like old and crawdads and drunk. I mean, I think there are historical places, but I mean, probably nothing I'd be interested in. To me, like, if I want to see historical things, I want to go to like Washington, D.C. or something like that. I do too.
So Daryl went to, they went to a hockey game and they were working. It was like one of those power work things where they work from like 8 to 5. And then from 5 until whenever they're drinking. Now they went honky tonkin' the first night and he called me. My time, it was like 10 o'clock, which was midnight there. And so he called me and he was hammered. And I said, how'd it go? He goes, it was so weird talking work and drinking. And I go, how much Tennessee whiskey did you have? He goes, not that many. Not that many. And he said what's really cool about Nashville actually is that every bar you go into, there's music. There's not one place that doesn't have live music, which I think is great. I mean, it is music central there. And he goes, and they're all amazing. Every single one of those musicians could be famous. Like, they're so talented there.
Well, they're
it's
trying.
just ridiculous. Yes, exactly.
Because a lot of, what am I trying to say? Like music scouts, they'll go to those bars and that's how they find a lot of talent. So
yes. And so he said that part is amazing, but everything is fried and there's a lot of booze. And so he was walking from his hotel to wherever they were, some restaurant that they were meeting at. And there was a person who clearly did not have a home on the street. And he goes, I had my coffee and I was walking by him and that upset him apparently. And he started yelling at me and following me.
What upset him?
His existence. So he just was triggered by Daryl walking by him.
Like, I'm sorry, go get a college degree. It's not my fault you don't have an education.
He was clearly a hobo and unstable at that. And so he's walking, he goes, and I crossed the street and he followed me across the street. And then I heard him say something about wanting to kill me. He goes, so I turned around because now I've got to fight a hobo. Because I'm not going to let some hobo kill me in the street of Nashville.
I would have turned about like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. And so he turned around.
Your feet are rotting off of your shoes. I'll kick you and you'll turn to dust.
Right? And
go back to your tent.
He ran into a work associate who was with him. and he was kind of backing him up a bit. And so the guy got distracted again and started harassing somebody else. And I thought, why is this occurring? Why do they allow this? Someone's going to knock this guy out on the street. And
I'm
then
sure
what?
he already has.
Yes. And so I said, well, how did it, did he follow you further? He goes, well, I saw him again. I go, well, did he remember you? And he's like, I think so. And I said, okay.
That was just the CTE talking. He's probably been knocked to the head so many times.
I said, so he's going back in April. And I said, so would you like me to accompany you so that we can take this hobo out or what? What do we do?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
take a picture, take a Snapchat and I'll...
Yes, I haven't been in an altercation in a long time. I'm ready. So anyway,
really, with a homeless person, you're going to end up on YouTube.
Are you kidding? I would end up with a disease. I'm not touching anybody like that.
Instead of taking off your earrings, you're going to slap on some latex gloves.
Like, hold on a second. Let me put on my gloves. All right. Wait, I need a mask.
Why are you wearing one of those biochemical suits?
Because I'm going to take down a hobo.
They're like, is this Comic-Con?
Boy, Nashville really has gone down the tubes, hasn't it? Is this street art? What do you think this is, Las Vegas? Get out of here.
Right.
Okay, so do you recall, I hope you remember when I told you that in my insomniatic stupor, I had taken some sleeping medicine and I still couldn't sleep, so I was really loopy. And this was a couple of months ago, and I purchased a pair of boots that I thought I got ripped off. Because I couldn't.
Oh, yeah. The ones that came from China, but it took like 2 months or something.
They arrived yesterday.
Oh.
They are exactly what I deserve. Okay. They are not what I ordered. They came in a very damaged box that the post office.
The kids did the best they can, Jamie.
Yeah, well, they need to work on their sewing. So they came in a damaged box. I opened them up. First of all, they are not the boots I ordered, obviously. They are a dark brown leather. They're not leather, sorry. Burlap, fabric-y, fake suede. They are brown instead of the gray.
Okay.
The bottom of the boot, it's supposed to almost look like a cowboy boot heel. They are a hiking boot heel.
Oh.
That is rubber with some weird little gem on the side of the buckle on the top of the boot. So for shits and giggles, I thought, well, there's no way these are going to fit. So let's try them on. So they fit. They're too big in the part where you put your feet in and through the ankle, but the calf is so tiny that I could only zip it up halfway. And I do not have the problem that a lot of women do with boots where you have big calves.
Like our stepmom used to have. Dad used to hate that. He's like, I would love it if she could wear boots, but she's just got this giant calf meat that just hangs out of her. She can't zip up anything.
No, I have several pairs of over-the-knee boots. These were supposed to come up like halfway to the kneecap.
I've always had the problem where I don't have enough calf meat and everything just sags.
I don't either. I guess I should do some muscle work to kind of firm that up. But
maybe we should come out with a line of boots called thin calves. And like,
you're not quite a Barbie, not quite a brat, right. Somewhere in between.
Not normal, but too thin.
Right. Just that sounds like an SNL skit. Anyway, so I was like, well, this is what I deserve. This is what I get for trying to circumvent the sold out of the actual store where I wanted to buy the boot, thinking that I could somehow, cut out the middleman and just buy direct. No.
How much did you pay for these things?
$68.
Oh my God, Jamie.
I know. And so they've just been sitting on the floor.
Can you give them to like Malia or Mackenzie or something like that?
I showed them to Malia and she started laughing. So I doubt it.
Okay, take that as a no.
I just call them the Dollar Tree boots because that's what they are. So I think I will donate them to somebody who...
Can you donate them to like a women's shelter or something?
I think I will. Now, the thing is that what's weird about these boots is that the sole is actually quite good. It's the rest, the shaft of these boots are so horrific. Plus, it's not the color I wanted at all. And when I opened them, I thought, what was I expecting to get? What did I think was going to happen? That all my dreams would come true and I would actually get the boots that I really wanted? That's hilarious. I was shocked that I even got them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, really.
So,
well, once you take sleepy medicine, but you like push through the sleep period and you're still awake, That's like when people try and have sex and stuff because it's supposed to be like all euphoric and everything.
It isn't.
You got euphoric about the boots and you imagined them to be something that it wasn't.
Oh my God, they're so horrible. Anyway, I you know what? Maybe I'll post a picture so you can see the China boots.
Yeah, you should do that.
This is what happens when you go shopping on sleeping medication.
Maybe someone will like wear them glamping because they've got like the high heel or not the high heel. They've got the like the rugged heel, but they can still look fashionable, dare I say.
My only concern is that the fabric would disintegrate upon water touching it. I'm not sure that they are meant for anything other than sitting in a box.
Why would you encounter water in camping?
Well, you know, water.
I mean, aren't you just don't you just sit on a chair in front of a fire and drink?
We did not. We did a lot of activities when we went camping. We went fishing, we went hiking, we walked through the water. I mean,
that sounds hard.
I don't like camping. I told Daryl, I said, I'm never going camping again. But if we ever get a cabin in front of a lake, I'm happy to go. If I have a toilet and running water, I'm good. But I don't want to ever sleep in a tent again in my life. Never. Unless I have to because the apocalypse happened and I survived. Other than that, I'm not interested. And if the apocalypse comes, I'm moving into a mall or an IKEA. That's where I'm going. I don't know about anybody else.
I think I'm going to do the whole Naked and Afraid style.
We watched a little bit of Naked and Afraid the other night because I used to watch that show a lot because I would be like,
me too.
I would be like, there's no way in hell I would ever have my genitals exposed to bugs and creatures in a foreign land ever.
No.
And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you sit on the ground with your vagina just exposed to all kinds of disgusting things.
You could have like sandflies in your snatch.
I can't.
Like,
can you imagine
sitting on the beach?
No.
Or like the guys, they just freaking like bend over. I'm like, can you not do the goat in front of me?
Please.
Like, seriously, I know we're like Naked and Afraid or Naked and Scared or whatever it's called,
Right.
but I mean, I don't want to see your balls in my face.
Seriously.
Have some decency.
I mean, make a loin.
So here's my thing about that show, because they're all like survivalist or whatever.
Right. Or hippies.
But sometimes, so like this one couple, not couple, partners or whatever you want to call them, they were like there for like freaking 5 days and the guy literally could not start a fucking fire.
I would have to slit his throat and live off of his body.
This was supposed to be his thing. And of course, you know, she's the moral support or whatever.
I remember them.
And I'm like, I could not be a moral support. I'm like, this is your thing, you idiot.
I would be,
do it!
I would be out of my mind. I'd be like, disappointment doesn't even cover the fact that I got matched up with you.
I'm like, give me that thing because clearly you're incapable, Mr. This is my thing. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm going to start this fire on my own.
I remember him, and I remember watching that going, you know what? Why do women have to do everything? Why is she going to have to take over and start this fucking fire? And then he's going to have to, you know, he's going to be completely demoralized and he's going to go out and try to find some sad little 1-inch fish that she can eat. You know,
he even used her hair, and I'm just like,
I remember that.
And then he's sitting in front of the camera. He's just like, I feel so defeated, and I'm like, I know that in the background you do hear me going, you should, you dummy, you know.
I'm gonna go gather more sticks, I guess. I believe they wasted away to practically nothing, and then finally he got a fire started one random day, and they were like, we did it. And
yeah,
like,
they got it. Because they were talking about how freezing they were at night and how comforting the fire was. And that's the whole thing is like, so these people are, you know, quote unquote survivalists. And I'm just like, sometimes when I watch these shows, I think they get inside of their own head and their own skills that it just prevents them from thinking like outside of the box.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like they're stuck on their skills. They will not venture outside of that. And it's like their own worst enemy. Right. Because I would be foraging for, you know, I would be looking for any little piece of glass or like a freaking lens or something. Well, because I mean, I used to burn ants with that shit.
No kidding. You know, see, that it helps to have a bad childhood. We remember all kinds of things.
I know, right? I mean, if we had Stephanie, we'd have fire instantly.
Are you kidding?
Like within 5 minutes.
She's a survivor. We're all survivors, and we all think very creatively. So we would be all right. The only problem I would have is the nudity. I'd be like, I don't want to see your snatch, please. Can we create a grass skirt?
Allison, cover your vagina.
It's like, wouldn't it have killed you to get a wax before the show? Honestly. Really? Do we have to see the muff? Come on. Things are going to get trapped in there.
My husband likes me natural.
My husband thinks I'm a damn good chef and he likes a big bush. She would have laughed at She would laugh at that too.
So cruel.
Please, she would have laughed. She'd be like, well, you're not wrong.
She's like, what? He does.
God, I'm out of my mind. That's so funny. Okay, let's move on to celebrity gossip really quick. I want to touch on the Harry and Meghan thing because I'm curious what you think. I know no one super cares about these people. We're not in England. They don't mean much to us other than it's fun to watch, right?
I'm not really. This kind of came out of left field.
It did.
Or right field or whatever field.
Yes, one of the fields.
So if I understand correctly, they basically are saying, okay, we're stepping down from being like Meghan and Harry of Sussex, like the royal prince, and we're moving to Canada. We'll come back when we have to do whatever things.
Right.
But other than that, we're cutting ourselves off from the royal riches. We're going to make our own money, become our own people. We basically don't want to be royals.
Right.
And
they don't want to be senior royals. Senior royals have jobs. They have to show up, represent the royal family at events, at, meeting dignitaries and world leaders and stuff like that. And they want out of the rotation.
And they're like, we want to live in Canada, raise our family, do our own thing.
Right.
I saw a quote from the Queen, and she says, this is just really kind of come down the pike. Yeah. And I'm still just having to process this and think about it.
Right.
And so the way she said it was, it almost sounds like she's going to have to either approve this or not, because it almost sounds like they may not have a choice.
This is what I think. Harry has never been one to conform to the royal way. If you followed the boys since Princess Diana died, Harry has always been a renegade. He's never ever conformed unless he's absolutely required to by his father. So what he's saying is, I'm stepping down from senior role. I'm not in line for the throne. I'm not interested in living the royal requirements that require me to live in one of the palaces and all that stuff. The other thing is, everybody's really blaming Meghan Markle for this. She doesn't have any power at all. None. She's like Camilla. No one gives a fuck in the palace what she thinks or what she wants. So she's just there. Harry's the one that's doing all of this. He's the one, and he's just like, fuck you guys, you don't like my wife, this country's racist because she's the first biracial princess in 100-something years, and I see what they're doing to her in the press, and I see how they follow us in the UK, and I'm not letting them do what they did to my mother. And he's leaving, and I think that's exactly what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with Meghan being difficult, personally.
See, I think it's the complete opposite.
Paula, she's not that powerful.
No, but she has that much power over Harry. And I think what happened was things did not get really, really bad until after they got married. And that's when you started to hear all this diva-like behavior about her and how she went through like probably a half a dozen assistants. And you heard that she was extraordinarily difficult. She was pretty bitter about all the press.
Yeah.
And
her parents turned on her. Her dad absolutely turned on her.
Well, and the other thing too is she kind of came from trash. And to think that she would, she's this rose, I think would be impractical because.
Well, here's the other thing I thought, and maybe you can see it in this light. She may be considered difficult in the royal world, but she's an American, and American women are very free, and we're really accustomed to being equal, and our voices are heard, and we aren't interested in someone telling us, no, you can't do that because of who you are. That ended in the 70s, and it's getting more and more that way, where we're actually considered human beings who have a voice and a point of view. In other countries, especially in the royal family, no one wants to hear your opinion, and no one cares. You will take this and you will eat this, and this is how it goes. And she's not comfortable, and I don't blame her. It would be a significant culture shock.
But the thing is that she had time to to adjust to that. And she had to have full disclosure about that before she entered it. So to think that she was going to change that or that was going to change, I mean, that's been going on for centuries.
Like having to wear nylons.
Yeah, or having to constantly appear and wear these hats,
right?
Or have to make these appearances, hours after you gave birth, and all these things, and have these interviews or these family photos with your newborn. I mean, she rejected all of that.
She did,
and that's what I'm saying.
But
is that that is and if she's going to be a royal, which she agreed to,
right,
that is all part of it.
The only thing I can think is that Harry told her, don't worry about that. Those are suggestions. Those aren't requirements or something of that nature. Because, you can't force a human being to do anything. And I'm not saying that she didn't put her foot down after agreeing to the protocols of being a royal. Because I think you're right. I think she's like, oh, yeah, this will be so great. And then it feels like prison once you're there. Everybody's telling you what to wear, what to do, how to act, how to wave, where to stand, all of it. But I really think that Harry is not completely pussy whipped. I think he's angry and he is really bitter over the death of his mother. And this is how he's dealing with it. I really do. I'm not saying that she's not a catalyst. I mean, he married her for a reason. He didn't marry some princess that they'd been trying to shove down his throat for 7 years, which they did. And he was like, I don't want to marry this person because she will conform to everything that I hate. He married someone.
I think with Meghan, though, the thing about her being American is that she cannot appreciate the royal family.
I agree.
The way the British do.
Right.
And so for her being royal, she's just like, what does that mean?
I know.
It's just like I don't give a shit. It just is a bunch of rituals and stupid pictures and, all these events. And it's mostly just being a pain in my ass. She's like, we literally have zero power. And so...
Right.
And so it's just it's a stupid thing. And so I would not be terribly surprised if she just said, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I think it was a mistake. And Harry's just like, whoa, let's just see what we can do to change it. And she's just like, I don't want to live here. I don't want to do this. I want out,
I just would ask that you not underestimate Harry's fury over, because he and the brothers are not speaking at all.
But that all started after he married her.
After he had the baby. But they're also saying, look, we're gonna be there. We're just not going to be trapped in this royal palace. We're gonna live our lives, and we're not taking any more money. We're gonna be financially independent. She was a millionaire before, so they do have money. But the problem that everyone's having, it's like, okay, that's fine. You're not taking your allowance, but the government still has to protect you, because you are an heir, officially an heir to the throne, whether it's 10th down or not. And now you have this baby, this royal baby. You can't be going to Target, by yourself. And I think I agree with you that Meghan doesn't get the gist of how dangerous. It's like being an ex-president. You can't just go meandering around without Secret Service.
I don't even know why they have to leave the continent. I mean,
I think it's the press. I really think that's why they're leaving for her. I think it's because the press has just been insidiously difficult.
Well, I think in another country, it probably wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
If they moved to like Sweden or something like that.
All I can think of is maybe it isn't that. Maybe it's something we just don't. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe it's nothing that we're making a lot of assumptions. But I also think the Queen had no idea. She was shocked.
I just don't see how you can live your entire life as a royal and then just suddenly have complete disrespect for it.
I know. You're right. Well, hopefully they work it out. Okay, next on the list, I want to talk about Gwyneth Paltrow is coming to Netflix, and people are outraged. They are outraged that this snake oil saleswoman is going to be on Netflix.
I don't know why people talk about her website. I don't know why they thought she would get a Netflix show would be a good thing.
Well, this is what I think. I've seen the trailer for Goop on Netflix, and I'm hoping that I am correct when I say that this is kind of like a tongue-in-cheek look at her brand. In essence, it's more like this is the more ridiculousness, and they're kind of almost making it a joke. But for example, because I read the little thing and it says she talks to experts and gets hands-on alongside the staff at Goop, her lifestyle brand. The 6-episode season slated to release on January 24th. She and her team go through a trial series of spiritual health and wellness trends, armed with ideology of leading with curiosity and keeping it real. No pseudoscience stone is left unturned. Gimmicky fads like energy healing and cold therapy meld with experimental exorcisms and psychic consultations. Mind-altering psychedelics are used as a form of mental health treatment. But I also know that the first episode is talking about giving yourself an orgasm by just laying there. It's so weird. I don't know.
Is that even possible?
Not for me. I don't know, but maybe I've heard of the tantric sex thing, but
I mean, I could give myself an orgasm by laying there, but I'd have to have my vibrator.
Yeah. So I don't want to watch it, but I'm going to, so I can be me.
I'm not going to. I can be
Fuck
angry.
No. Well, I'll tell you.
I'm not going to indulge. I'm not going to contribute to that.
Do you know there's a Goop store in San Francisco?
I don't give a fuck.
This lady went in. She goes, I went in because it's in a fancy part of, the shopping districts of San Francisco. And you go in and they have clothing, but the largest size they have is 2. They have 0, 0, 0, and 2. And they have larger sizes, but you have to ask someone to go and get it for you in the back. They don't want them. God forbid. They don't want anyone to see that a real human body needs a size 10 or something, apparently.
I will admit this, that when you are displaying merchandise, things do look better in smaller sizes. So like when I worked in shoes at Macy's,
they're always size 5.
5 or 5.5. We always put those on display because it does make the shoe look more appealing.
Do you mean that a platform in a size 9.5 isn't as appealing, Paula? Okay, so finally, Leo DiCaprio. This happened right before New Year's Eve. I don't know. Did you hear that he saved someone from drowning?
No.
Leo gave, this is funny. It says Leo gave a drowning man the deep sea rescue he never got, playing Jack Dawson. So, while vacationing aboard a yacht in the Caribbean over the holidays, he took part in the rescue of a crewman who fell from a Club Med yacht near St. Martin. His yacht was anchored near St. Bart's, heard the Mayday call and went out. This was December 30th, and he helped find the victim. He'd been treading water for 11 hours before they found him and rescued him. The man, identified only as Victor, was a Club Med cruise worker who had fallen overboard after having too much to drink. So there you go. He's a hero.
Wow. Yeah, well, I think the radio we listened to, they made up their own commentary, and they said as soon as he pulled him up, he said, "It's not so easy, is it?" or something like that.
That's funny. The only other thing I wanted to tell you, I totally forgot. There was 2 other things, and I didn't put them on the thing. Elon Musk and his girlfriend Grimes are having a child. I don't understand the Grimes. Like, why is her name that? Doesn't she have a first name like Emily or something? Why is it just Grimes? Is she an artist? Like a singer?
People name their kids the stupidest names anymore. Like, if I was a teacher in a classroom, I would hate to read the roll call.
Okay, and I don't know why this is a really random thing, but I've always had a really weird soft spot for Ricki Lake because she seems so lost. She was a midwife for a while, or a doula. She does acting. She was obviously in Hairspray. I don't know. And she's always battled her weight, and she's been really honest about it. So apparently her whole adult life, she has had a problem with losing her hair. She had the alopecia thing. And
what's that?
Alopecia is when it's a disorder where your hair just falls out. Oh. Women get it for a variety. I think men do too, but for women, obviously, our hair is our thing. Every woman, their hair is their thing. And so she has always struggled with it. And so for years, she's been using all kinds of extensions. She's tried wigs. She's done all the medications, everything, keeping the hair short, whatever. She's like, it'll go real good. And then, months later, it just all falls out. It's like, there's nothing you can really battle it. There's nothing she can do. She says it claims it's hormones and stress and a million other things. And so she decided she had had enough and she shaved her head. And that's just the way it's going to be. And if she wants to wear a wig, she will, but she's going to just be bald now. And she's not going to be ashamed anymore.
Well, that's one way to go.
right? I just think with the way that wigs and hair pieces are today, I mean, I don't mind her. The only thing I can think of is she's coming out in front of something, like someone saw her bald or something, and so she's trying to like turn it into something positive. But hair pieces now are made out of usually human hair, and especially if you can afford them, I mean, they're amazing looking. So I was a bit surprised that she decided to do that, but a lot of celebrities are doing the bald thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of celebrities wear extensions anyway. I mean, most of their hair isn't their own hair. And so, which, I mean, I'm always jealous of what their hair looks like, but then I have to realize that's not their hair. So
I remember the day when I realized that J-Lo was wearing hair pieces when she went to an awards party and she had a long ass ponytail, like an Ariana Grande ponytail. And then the next day she had a bob. And I went, oh, duh, because I'm so gullible. I just assume that that's their hair. I mean, one time I showed my hairdresser, I said, I want to do my hair like this. He goes, okay, first there's like 8 hair pieces in there. You can't do that. I'm like, oh, really? Yes.
Well, see, that was my problem is I couldn't understand why. I'm just like, God, the Kardashians are so lucky. I'm like, their hair is so thick and long.
I know.
And someone's just like, their hair has like major extensions in it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
not
what?
real. Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, they have really long, thick extensions in their hair. And they're like, that's why it's so long and thick. And I'm just like, you mean that's not real?
No.
And they're like, no. And I'm just like, well, then I don't feel so bad because I'm like, I could never get my hair that thick and long.
I strongly thought about, I thought about taking vitamins, all of that stuff.
I do take vitamins. And then I also saw Casey Musgraves.
Oh, I know.
I thought her hair was real. And I think for a while it was, but I think she's doing the extensions now.
It's really super long now. I freaking love her. I'm so glad that she's...
I do too, but I'm just like disappointed that she's starting to get all glam.
She's always been glam.
No, but I mean, I liked her when she was a little bit more subdued, I guess.
I just think when you've loved an artist for a really long time and you've watched them from their simple album covers, I mean, if you saw her videos in her first album, she was glam back then, but now she's got big designers who are like, please wear our clothes. And she's like, yes. I mean, she's girly, so she gets she can do it. So for that, it's like, I'm like, good for her. I mean, I always like seeing a girl kicking ass anyway in the entertainment world like that, because she worked her ass off. I remember she said once that she was, I don't know, like 11 or 12, and she's been singing publicly for as long as she can remember. And they said, you're too fat and you don't sing good enough. You will never be famous. And she said, I remembered that and I never, ever freaking forgot that. Never. So anyway, we have to talk about Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. Okay, so right now, well, as of the day we are recording, it is Friday. The standings are Ken Jennings at 2, James Hauser at 1 game, and then I don't know what is wrong with that guy, Brad. He has 0, and most of the time he's like negative going into Final Jeopardy. And he doesn't even play.
When you see him up next to the other two, he looks like a fluke. Because he has like brain farts constantly. The pressure is getting to him. He's intimidated. And so he's sucking wind. And I was watching him going, listen, you smarmy little shitbag. You beat Ken Jennings 1 time and here you are. Nah. You don't belong here.
Ryan and I were just like, what is it with him? Because he always finds the freaking daily doubles.
Yes. And then he blows everything.
But then he blows them every time. And like the other guys are like pissed because they're just like,
God damn
that was such an easy one, you idiot. And I could have gone all in and would have been like,
and saved myself.
$20,000 ahead. I'm sorry, points. I don't know why they're like emphasizing the points thing.
I always say dollars too.
But do you have a favorite that you want to win?
Ken Jennings. I'm OG. I just love him. I know.
Of course, I like the poker player.
Of course.
But
that he grew on me. I admired the way he figured out a way to work the game, really. But I love Ken Jennings. He is the consummate nerd. He's king of the nerds. And I just love it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's a writer now. I mean, I would never read anything that I have no interest in him outside of the game, really.
What the hell would he write about?
I don't know. He's been writing for
nerd stuff?
I don't know. Now, do you think that when this tournament ends that Alex Trebek is leaving the game? Is that the rumor?
I read somewhere, I can't remember what it was, but I read a blurb that said Alex Trebek has already filmed his farewell show.
Oh.
So I would not be surprised at the end of the Tournament of Champions if this was his farewell show.
I'm going to weep. I'm going to openly weep. I don't know about you, but he's been in our lives just as long as everyone else. We used to watch that show as a family.
I don't know if it was Ryan or Victor, but one of them pointed out that he has a chair now behind his podium.
Oh my God. Do you think he's wearing a hairpiece?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
It looks
if
really
you look,
good.
you can tell.
It looks so good.
Oh, it's excellent.
See, Ricky Lake. Look at Alex Trebek is dying and he looks amazing. Come on, slap a wig on. What are we doing?
Well, she's just throwing a big pity. She's just one big pity party, Jamie.
I know. And, the fact that she's just like, well, I've decided to become a doula because I'm obsessed. And then she's over that.
And then when she got divorced, she was just like, oh, woe is me. I'm so fat and he doesn't love me. And
I don't know, man. I don't know why I have a soft spot for her, but I do. I don't know.
I have a hard time for people who constantly feel sorry for themselves.
Well, you know what it is? It's not, we don't see the pity party. What we see is the proclamations from said pity party. It's like, I've been feeling sorry for myself for 6 months, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm a woman. I'm going to rule the world and shave my head. Damn it.
If that happens for, 20 years, it's just a pity party.
You're right. Well, all these proclamations, and then, it's like, I know I said I was going to be really amazing last year. Well, things happen, but I am back, damn it. I get it. It is annoying for sure. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know why. Like I said, I can't explain the soft spot, but all right. Well, I'm looking forward to the final, and I'm hopeful that this isn't the end for Alex, but if it is, it is. And we'll just wish him adieu and cry and reminisce on what an amazing, and there's been no one like him. I mean, even, who's that fool that did Price is Right? What was that dude?
Oh, Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. He's up there with Bob Barker to me, for sure.
Even more so because did you watch the behind the scenes they did the other night, the hour special?
No, I didn't. Is it really good?
Well, I just didn't realize what an integral part of the show he was.
Yeah.
Because they film all the shows in one day.
I did know that. Yes.
They give him every show's answers and questions, and he goes through and he'll make edits or recommendations and things like that, and then they all sit down at a certain time at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And they'll go through, and then he'll have questions or suggestions or whatever. It's called Alex's meeting or something like that.
Oh, that's gonna be.
And
God, Paula, I'm starting to think you're right. They may not replace him.
I don't know who they would.
Well,
unless,
not only that, but
what?
if he what? Oh, Ken Jennings.
Well, I was going to say, unless the winner is interested in hosting.
I got to tell you, Paula, I wouldn't hate Ken Jennings being the guy.
He would be good.
He can't. He's almost unbeatable because he's so smart. And think about the meetings that he would have. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, and they all,
a good idea.
they all are very charismatic.
And they're very personable, and he's super likable.
Yeah, I don't know. Should be interesting to see. Just nothing like Drew Carey or something stupid.
No, Drew Carey has his place, but it's not there. This is a dignified show where we all try to feel smart, where we actually learn something. Okay, let's go ahead and do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
I don't even know how it started, but Ryan and Olivia, they start these little competitions, much like we did when we were young.
Right.
And they didn't make a lot of sense. And so for some reason, starting in the living room, they decided that they were going to time each other power walking to the front door and back and see who could do it the fastest.
All right.
And so I look over and I see Ryan's hips going as fast as he can.
Oh.
And his hair is breezing, you know.
Lord.
And then she had to slap Ryan's hand, and that's what stops the clock.
Got it.
And so then, Olivia went, and her little swift legs, are power walking, and he's like, one foot on the ground at a time. He's like, no running. And so
She's like a little baby ostrich.
she's just funny. And so then I don't know what prompted Victor, but he decided, he's like, all right, it's my turn.
Oh, God.
And so for some reason he got up though and took off his shirt. So I got my camera and I started filming him.
Oh my God.
And he didn't know because I was on the couch. And so he started power walking. And you don't want to power walk with your shirt off.
No.
And so it wasn't until he came back and he saw me. He's like, oh, come on.
What the fuck is he taking his shirt off for?
He was just being silly with the kids.
Okay.
And so he's like, all right, now it's your turn. And I'm like, all right. And so I get up. I start making like long strides like a gazelle, you know.
Well, you do look like a gazelle.
And I slapped the handle door. And I don't know what happened, but I started to get like real competitive. Like,
Paula,
I'm like, I got to beat this time.
You're surprised that you're competitive? What?
I came in like 0.2 seconds underneath Victor, and I'm like, damn it.
I want to do it again.
You want to go again? And I'm like, no, I stubbed my toe.
Oh. That's funny.
But I'm just like, is this what people do who are poor and need entertainment?
Yes.
They time each other power walking through the house?
Okay, first of all, that's what all people used to do before smartphones and Netflix, is you would have games in the house with your fam. That's what you would do.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's like us when we would tie a sewing thread through the house to, you know, booby trap one another.
I don't know how we survived ourselves sometimes.
Well, it was only fun until one accidentally got to Mom, and she's like, stop it! And then we'd all hide because we'd hear the snap. We're like, oh shit, Mom got it.
This is a waste of materials. Why do you do this? Now we have to throw all of this away.
Or whoever was closest got an arm grab. That hurts.
I know, constantly. It's so true. Good Lord. I don't know how we survived her, but anyway, that's funny. Okay, so I want to wedge in. Daryl had an awkward moment in Memphis, Nashville, which was really funny. So apparently, in these bathrooms, at whatever building they're at, I want to say, I think they were at a WeWork in Nashville, actually. And
it's a WeWork.
It's WeWork is a company where they build office spaces in big cities so that you can just rent out the room instead of having to have an office. So if you're having like what they did in Nashville, where everybody was descending upon Nashville from a million different markets, they can meet at this office, pay whatever it is for the 3 days that they were working, and then just vacate and not even have to think about it.
So kind of like a business center.
Yes, and they're all over. WeWork is everywhere, and so I think
that's cool.
We have one. I think we have one here, but we have in Sacramento. But there's one in San Francisco that just got completed. That's really amazing, and it has like all the best of the best. It's got outlets and computers and screens and whatever you need to have
like printers and stuff like that.
Right, but I mean it's more for like presentation stuff too. So they have you can phone in and Skype somebody from China or whatever. Anyway. So he goes, I went into the bathroom. I'm like, they have a mouthwash dispenser in the bathroom. And I'm like, that is brilliant. First of all, I love it. What
does a mouthwash dispenser look like?
Well, it looks like a soap dispenser, but it says mouthwash. So he's like, well, this is cool because I just had, fried food and whatever. So this will be great. But he didn't know how to get it because there was no...
Like, were there Dixie cups around or...
Well... There was, but he didn't find them. He didn't see them. So what did Mr. Man do? He gets on his knees and opens up his mouth and squirts the mouthwash into his mouth.
Did somebody walk in?
No, that would have been us. He got away with it.
Just gonna say.
But he's like, that's really great. He goes, so I walked in again and thought, well, do I want to do this again? And then I look and there's a small sleeve of tiny little like dentist-sized Dixie cups for the mouthwash. He's like, totally didn't see it.
He's like,
oh, that's how that goes. Okay, I get it now. And I thought,
knowing me, I would have tried to cup it in my hand and then been like,
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, do you have to put it in your hand like soap or something? And then you just kind of, is it gelatinous? Like, do you just kind of slurp it up like a Jell-O mold? Like, what is it? I don't get it.
I would have done that, and the person next to me would have been looking at me as she like pulled down the cup, and I'd be like, "Oh,
that's how that is." Okay, all right. Okay.
I'd be like, "Well, I'm kind of a germaphobe. I don't like touching things.
Oh my
I'm gonna wash my hands."
So anyway, I thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
So the night before Daryl traveled, we went out for sushi kind of late because we were running a bunch of errands because he needed, of course, clothes for this trip. And we're sitting down now. Daryl is vain. Shockingly. He doesn't like wearing his glasses in public, which is so ridiculous, but he doesn't. And he doesn't bring them with him. And he goes, oops, oh, well, I forgot my glasses. And I always have mine because I don't like being able to not see things. And my glasses are nice, so I don't really care. So I took them out and I'm reading, and it's dark in the sushi place. Plus, these restaurants, they do black backgrounds with teeny tiny like gray writing, and it's really super small. So I'm looking and I can't see. And, they sat us at a table where we're surrounded by a bunch of people. We weren't on the side or the outward parts. We're in like the middle, which no one likes that table, but it was busy. He goes, well, what's this one? We were looking at what was in the rolls. He goes, well, what's in that roll? And I'm like, okay, let's see. And I totally didn't even think about it. I felt like I was reading aloud in class. And I said, okay, well, this one has spy crab and spy shrimp. And I go, what's spy crab? And I look at him because he eats sushi more than me. He's like,
is that spicy?
He goes, I think that says spicy. And I look down. I'm like, oh, no, it says spy. He goes, I think it's like abbreviated.
Abbreviated. Oh,
and I
okay.
Went, oh, okay. And then the lady next to me starts laughing because I'm like, what's spy crab? And anyway, it was awkward and weird.
Oh my God. I know.
I don't know why but you know what? Like I said, I'm a little naive and gullible in the real world. I'm not actually I don't get it on the first round sometimes. And so it creates these awkward moments anyway.
No, it happens to me all the time. I can't see anything anymore.
I know. Oh, Paula, you have to go get your eyes checked.
I know.
Just freaking go to Lens Crafters or something.
I know. I need to do something. It's bad.
Tyler came home with new glasses the other night, and I said, are those new glasses? He goes, yeah, they're my new spectacles. And I said, are they tinted? And he goes, there is a tint to them. And I went, oh. I go, you look like Mitch Hedberg. He started to laugh. Who's Mitch
Hedberg?
Mitch Hedberg is a comedian from the 80s. He's dead now because he was a drug addict. But he looked just like him, and he started to laugh. He's like, no, I don't. I go, you kind of do, because he would wear the tinted glasses on stage. But they're not so tinted you can't see. They're just tinted enough you go, why are your glasses tinted? But anyway, I guess that's it. I think we're done.
All right. Well, I have one last announcement.
Please.
So Olivia is in the Girl Scouts, as you know.
Yes.
And
I was going to ask you about this. Oh, my gosh.
It is that time of year. She is going to start selling cookies.
Buy some cookies today.
So I'm going to post the link. You can buy them online and they will be shipped to you. So I'm going to post the link on our Facebook, and then we can also post it on our Instagram and Twitter. I'll let Jamie do that because I don't know how. But please order some Girl Scout cookies. They're delicious. They are $5 a box.
Cookies will taste so nice. Yes!
They even have the gluten-free, I think it's peanut butter chocolate, and those are $6. And so I encourage you to purchase some cookies for my daughter's troop, 2407, the heart of Central California.
Be prepared for a lot of Troop Beverly Hills banter this season.
We're the girls of Beverly Hills.
I can't wait. Beverly Hills, what a thrill. I can't
wait. It would be like, we're the girls of Elk Grove. So Olivia somehow believes that the whole troop is going to sell cookies at the same time, even though at the meeting we went to. Okay, so this happened to me.
What?
So Tuesday was her meeting, and they said parents had to come to the first half an hour. So I was there. I've never done the cookie thing before because this is the first time she's been a Girl Scout.
Right.
But apparently, I'm the only one.
Oh.
And so I'm sitting at this little desk filling out this paper, and the girls are doing their thing. Well, I look up after I'm done filling out my paper, and I just see all the kids talking to the one thing, and all the parents are gone. So I'm looking around.
Oh.
And all the parents are standing in a corner listening to this lady talk. And I'm
you're missing the meeting.
And I'm like, well, it would have been fucking nice if someone had told me that you're all going to go corner off and talk about grown-up stuff.
You know what? You're going to have to find the other rebellious parent.
Well, I don't know if there is one. So I go over there, and of course she's like, well, ladies, it's that time of year. It's very exciting. And I'm just like, you're bugging the shit out of me right now.
I'm already annoyed. Is there an internet website I can go to so I can just leave?
That's kind of, and so then I got a message today, and they're just like, we're still missing a couple forms. I believe it's blah, 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 and Olivia. There's one of the others that I didn't get. I believe it's Olivia's. And I'm just like, all right, I get it.
Get your shit together, Mom.
Maybe I would have known what I needed to turn in if someone had told me that you guys had already been meeting. And so,
well, welcome to the world of being the rebellious parent. There's always one. And what's funny is that the leaders of said groups always like us because we are not up in their shit all the time. We're just like, tell me what to write and I'm out.
She was wearing a pink sweater and like peach CoverGirl foundation that, didn't really match. And her hair was in a ponytail.
Oh, boy.
And so I was just like, ugh. And so I was just hoping, I'm like, can't I just do the online sale thing? But I guess she's got to do time at the booth, whatever that is.
That's
but
fine.
They said only 2 to 4 girls at a time at the booth because I guess they got complaints last year from some of the businesses that there was too many girls there running around,
right, because nobody knows
running amok and creating,
nobody knows how to control their children anymore because they don't know how to say no.
Not. I'm just like, I don't get that, and I'm just like, who's selling the cookies,
right? If they're running around,
is it the parents, or the kids?
This is the ultimate. This is the same as the big school projects. They know who's selling the cookies. It ain't the girls. Because if it was the girls, they'd sell like 4 of them and it'd be to their grandparents and that's all they would sell.
I'm just going to probably have like a tight shirt made that's low cut and says got cookies and then like a question mark on it and just let my boobs hang out and be like, hi, would you like to buy some cookies?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And then
make sure you have make sure you have the do-si-dos on your nips.
And then I'll just go sit out in front of like Harbor Freight or like Home Depot or something
there you
like
go.
that.
$5.
AutoZone. I'd be like, it's only $5. You look kind of hungry.
I'd be like $6 if you want a peek.
I'd be like, would you like some milk with those cookies?
Would you like to take? Oh my God.
And then I'll just have like a little container of milk.
And Olivia would be like, Mom.
She'll just be, I'm like, go play.
Go play. Mommy's got this.
So we made a lot of money, got several phone numbers.
We're doing good. We're doing great.
And they're like, Olivia did the best this year, considering that she's new.
First of all, Olivia's going to kick ass. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to get started on this campaign. So, All right. Well, we'll set all that up. We will set up a link if you want to support the Uggs, baby Ugg. In her endeavor to prove to all these snotty Girl Scout mothers that we're the best, because we are, you're going to buy a box of cookies. So anyway, that's that. Great announcement. And we'll kick that off probably right when the show kicks off. We will post all of that. When did cookie sales start?
Friday, January 10th. So right now.
All right. Then we will do that immediately.
So thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.